Hello everyone and welcome back to the third and final episode of my Krefelder Zoo project as a dedication to the passed away apes of this fire catastrophe of the 1st of January of 2020. Yeah, that's the year we are in. Gosh, I was already in 2019 again. God, last decade, you know. Today's episode is it kind of marks the last one because it was always meant to be just 3 episodes, and that's why I put it all in one episode. So it's gonna be a very long one. But for those of you who do not have the patience nor want to watch that long of a video, you can check out the description. There is the link to the blueprint. You can download it yourself and enjoy. As far as I know, I hope I stick to it. There is no DLC item included. It's a park. You have to open it as a park because obviously it's more than just one habitat, and therefore it is using a whole bunch more stuff than what I can pack into a blueprint. So unfortunately, if you want to have that in your own zoo, there are 2 ways of doing it. First way is to download the park and create your own blueprint out of it and kind of make this happen. But I also uploaded all the single assets that I used as simple blueprints to the workshop. So for example, what you're seeing right here is a climbing frame, which surprisingly worked out super well. And I feel like this is a super nice item I'm going to use a lot in my parks because it's very versatile. I'm gonna say you can actually change the design according to what I did here pretty simply. So I'll pack in the simple things I used to create that lovely little windy, whatever, roundish looking climbing frame, because I can tell you, and you will see that from the little tour we are doing in the end, and also from the blueprint, and also from the cinematics and everything else, you can see that they are happily using it. And actually I was super surprised, and I said some bad things about the animations in some of my franchise videos because it was really not that great, but the orangutans, they really surprised me in here. They really nailed it. I don't know why and how exactly it worked out, but they are using this climbing frame super accurately. I hope that we can catch in the real-time part a little bit of that, because it's super impressive how they're using it, how they're especially using this lovely item which I'm creating right now. It's some sort of hammock over here that I'm creating, again inspired by what is actually in the Krefelder Zoo. And since I'm not really talking over the whole episode, because I will talk a lot in the real-time part again, that's why I'm leaving you alone with the music and the time-lapse a little bit more than usually. In fact, normally I talk through the whole video, but this time it's gonna be that long that I'm not. And if you guys want to listen to your own music and just see the time-lapse build itself, you can do so. But yeah, I'll provide you also with this hammock over here. It's also a bit of a little blueprint that you can make bigger or smaller according to what you need. So it's also very versatile in terms of how you can implement that into your own zoo. So in the end, this project not only was a little dedication, it also created some stuff that we can use in the game, and you can use this. Now, the last thing I really want to talk about is the level of, or the degree of accuracy of that building. Halfway through the build, I decided to make sure it's not, by the way, you can see how accurately the animal is using that area over here. Super easy and super nice. But halfway through the build, I decided to let go a little bit from what the actual plan of that building is. And the reason why I do want to explain here. For those people who have been to the Krefelder Zoo, they will potentially see a lot of similarities, and hopefully, and that's what I wanted to catch, at the first glance it really looked like the building and you can really feel yourself home in there. Obviously, the build is meant to be a refreshed, newer version, because all the wood and stuff in Planet Zoo is not weathered, which the building, the building had some years already on its kind of list. It actually existed for some years, and that's why it's obviously weathered and not in the most modern and new shape. But this game does, well, I could achieve that, but the input to make that is pretty heavy, so that's why it obviously is looking more like as if it would be just opened. Now, the idea was to catch this vibe of the building, to catch exactly it, to make sure that the layout is very similar to it. But halfway through, I also noticed that the actual measurements of the real zoo, which I did get from a lot of people that work in the zoo or that are really close to the zoo, that do have these data. I don't want to mention them or name them because I don't know if they want or whatever. So this is why I just say some people. Again, a big thanks, because without them I couldn't have done it. But I also noticed that the game does not work with the sizes and the dimensions that I had at hand. So in fact, the building itself is a little bit larger than the real life counterpart, I should say. And in fact, it also is a little bit different in terms of height. So the actual habitats are a bit more lower down into the ground. That means the whole building seems to be a bit taller than it actually is. So it kind of creates this bit of forced perspective, which I didn't do here because, as you know, working with the terrain and path in Planet Zoo is more than just a little bit of a struggle. And I also planned it as a blueprint because myself, I'm so stupid. I totally forgot that I cannot blueprint more than just one habitat. So I planned it as a habitat, and since you cannot include path in the habitat, I was like, okay, I need to give you something that you can work with. But in fact, since it's a building and a park that I'm going to upload, a full zoo, I should have done this. But yeah, well, I was halfway through already. I spent some good 20-ish hours building that whole building, so I didn't want to, spend even more time, because again, it's just 1 week ago. I feel it's super good timing to do it today. This is also why the episode is a bit later. I decided to still do this. In fact, I'm just recording this voiceover like half an hour before I'm uploading it, so it's super fresh. It's actually from today. But yeah, just a little bit of an explanation why I went for a Planko-ish version of the zoo. I also left out some fences. I left out some little details in the habitat, because surely I could have gone into this level of detail, but I think the purpose of the building is fulfilled, and I didn't want to stretch it even further to, gain views or spend time or whatever. I just wanted to make sure that it fulfills the thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to dedicate my life, my time, my ability to create stuff in Planet Zoo to honor the apes of the Krefelder Zoo and give them a digital space to live on. And I think it's done. That's what I gave them. There is no way in making it any better or worse now. I named them all after the real life counterparts. I integrated them into the zoo as possible, and I made it look good as good as I could, and as clean as I could, and I hope that you guys will appreciate that. Now I'll leave you alone now with the rest of this time lapse, which is well over 10 minutes now, with the music, and I really hope that you guys are going to enjoy that. Now, yeah, we talk again in the real time part. Until then, enjoy the time lapse. Alright guys, here we are in the real-time part, and now, yeah, we are outside the building because I wanted to show you the full walkthrough, and we are going to take not this entrance over here, we are going to take the back entrance because that's also where the people walk by. You can see this is the house. I'm not even sure how exactly it looked for the outside. I know that it's not as accurate. I believe the entrance was over here in this like side building, and anyways, we are going to go in here, and then to the left-hand side, the first habitat opens up. We have to go always a little bit of a step up here because the target cam is a bit too deep into not the eye perspective, so the people are taller, they can easily watch over here and watch inside the habitat, but for whatever reason that camera position does it not. So this is the left hand side of the orangutan habitat, which is separated. Normally there is a climbing frame here as well. I left it out because the focus of this habitat is clearly here, and there is a maximum amount of climbing space they want to have, and this climbing frame over here basically fulfills most of it already. So let's just try to go over here and have a good look into the habitat. So you can see this is the orangutan habitat. I feel like it is really close to how the real life one is, and this is what I just talked about. Look at how they use the climbing frame. It looks super accurate, at least what I can tell how the game normally looks like. We can really see how this works out. I'm still very surprised by how it works. I just put some of the enrichment items on top of the climbing frame, and then I just started using it, which is super lovely. And also, okay, what did you just do? You have to use the climbing frame. That's working a lot better. But now you can really see this dude is just like climbing up here. Oh, they got some new water. Now that's why they go over and have a drink. This one's just like chilling over here. But yeah, so these are the orangutans in this left, or first habitat, I should say left, because it's the left side of the building. For me, it was the whole time while building the left-hand side, but yeah. So if we go down here, you can see, as this is what I just said, the people can just easily watch over here and have a look inside. Usually this should be a little bit lower, but then the animals could escape, so this is why I needed to have this a bit higher. Dude, what are you just standing over there the whole time? Are you still alive? Please don't die there. I mean, they cannot die because I made this whole system here, you know, without death. Animal death is not activated. But yeah, so this is, it just pooped down here. I think it just pooped down from the climbing frame. That is lovely. Alright, if we continue going to this next area over here, this is the gorilla, and if we have a peek into this habitat, you can see there are only 2 gorillas in here, because usually they have more, but these are the 2 that passed away, unfortunately, and that is why I dedicated this to those 2. Oh my god, where did I just go? There we go. I wanted to show you also this other dude. Actually, we can just go around that corner, which shows us this wonderful view over here into the habitat, where there is actually in the zoo, as I figured, there is exactly this little double-sided glass, or one-sided glass, I should say, to look inside the habitat, and the gorilla has something in. Actually, there is like this little how is it called, the box in the wall where they can actually solve some riddles. We have this item in the game, but we cannot stick that into the wall, which is a bit unfortunate. Well, we can, but there's a little bit of a harder way to do that, so I decided to have an enrichment item which works a little bit nicer than, you know, the other one, and they still can be here and show their little butt to us. But yeah, so this is the little viewing gallery you get after you turn around this habitat, or just go around, and then you can just have another peek inside here. But yeah, I'm loving it, and this works pretty well. Then you have this little rainforest area with a little bit of a water area down here, and you can just have a peek already into the chimpanzee habitat. I wonder why the glass is like half broken. I do have enough mechanics actually employed to make sure that this works. I should definitely deactivate this you know, fence, how's it called again, when the fence is depledge, I guess that's the word. But yeah, it's pretty crowded over here. People seem to love to watch the chimpanzees, so we do the same now. So that is the chimpanzee habitat. It's a little bit of a different one because that's a fairly larger one, and they planned to add a little outside area which would be accessible through a tunnel which is below that area down here, which is not yet available, so that's why I left it out. But look at how the chimpanzees are using also this climbing frame. Oh my god, was that a slow-mo jump? Oh my lord, what's that? I mean, I love that, but it's just a super slow-mo jump. This is like Matrix. That's the Matrix chimpanzee. I let them live on in the digital space so they can use their superpowers in the Matrix. That's fine. That was a bit more accurate jump. Anyways, so that is the chimpanzee habitat, and I really like this a lot. I should have done the climbing frame a bit bigger, but I ran into some issues making that a bit bigger. They were clipping a bit more through it, so I left it this way. They're still not super happy. Obviously, the climbing is a little bit too less for them, but as I enabled 100% welfare, they are super happy about it. Nevertheless, okay, if we continue going through this area, you can have another peek in here if you want. You can see the chimpanzees climbing a bit more around this frame. I love how they are using it. It really feels alive and stuff. So if you go over here, you can see people standing at the exit, because I integrated another habitat, which is a lemur habitat, which obviously they have not been in here, but they had some other small species of small monkeys in this one, free roaming around. I'm not sure how they are named in English, but I wanted to give them some space. They obviously don't have the names because I don't have the names, but I just wanted to make sure that there is this little area also integrated into that build. So now that is everything I did, and this is the whole backstage access over here. So if you go in, there is like a backstage for the gorillas we can have a look into. This is where they can be, and then on the other hand side, if you go down here, you can just pass through that one. You have another backstage access to the chimpanzee, and you can also go, if you want, to the right hand side, which is then the orangutan habitat, and you can just, you know, as if you were a staff member, you can just go in and make sure to take care of them. And they also have like a little staff building over here, and they have a generator and, you know, everything they need just around the corner, and then you can enter or exit the building via this hand side. So you had the full tour. That is how I did it, and I really do hope that you guys enjoy it now. This is the Krefelder Zoo Affenhaus recreation as a dedication to the animals that unfortunately passed away in the big fire, and I really hope that this is a good tribute that people will enjoy out there. If you did enjoy, make sure to share, that's the German in me again, to share it out there, rate it on the workshop, and make sure to leave a follow or whatever to make sure that this goes to the front page so people can see it and hopefully help dedicate a bit more, or maybe even donate if they can. I will put a link in the description of the workshop element. And yeah, it's online now. You can download it. You can check it out yourself. You can make videos of it if you want. I think everything helps if you share the news, and then everything is fine, and we're all happy. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I see you in the next one. That's it with the Krefelder Zoo dedication. We are on to some more normal projects now. Yeah, there's not much more left to say. Enjoy the cinematics, and goodbye.